Alex walked carefully across the cracked, ash-covered surface of the planet, his boots crunching on blackened rock. The sky above was streaked with gray clouds, and gusts of wind carried sharp grains of dust that stung his skin. He had been sent with a small salvage team to recover supplies and materials left behind after the recent skirmishes between humans and rival factions. Most of his teammates had gone ahead to examine a ruined settlement, leaving Alex to scout the perimeter. As he stepped over a jagged boulder, a faint sound caught his attention. It was low, almost like a whimper carried on the wind. He froze, listening. There it was again, a quiet, desperate sound, unlike anything he had heard from humans before. It was soft, fragile, and filled with pain. Curious and cautious, he moved closer to the source. The structure he approached looked like it had once been a research facility, now collapsed and half buried in ash and debris. Inside, he saw a figure huddled near the remains of a broken wall. It was a humanoid shape, but taller than a human, slender and with strange, delicate features. Its skin glimmered faintly with soft bioluminescent patterns that pulsed weakly, like a dying light. Alex's heart tightened. The alien woman looked weak, her ribs showing beneath her thin clothing, her movements slow and shaky. Her glowing patterns flickered erratically, a clear sign of extreme distress or hunger. She tried to lift her head when she noticed him, but it fell back heavily onto the ground. Fear and exhaustion were written in every line of her body. Alex approached slowly, careful not to startle her. "Hey," he said gently, "I'm not going to hurt you. Can you understand me?" His voice was calm, steady. The alien's eyes, large and reflective, blinked slowly. She tried to speak, but only a whisper came out. "Humans." Alex noticed her hesitation. He remembered the stories of her species, the Kelari. They were known to be intelligent, proud, and extremely wary of humans because of past conflicts. Many Kelari avoided contact with humans at all costs, yet here she was, alone and fragile. He crouched down at a safe distance, pulling out his rations. "I've got food," he said, placing a small packet of protein paste and water on the ground. "You don't have to fight me, please. Eat." For a moment, the alien woman froze, staring at the offering. Suspicion was clear in her eyes, but the hunger she felt was stronger than her fear. She reached for the food, her trembling fingers brushing the packet. She tore it open with delicate motions, inhaling the scent of the paste before taking a cautious bite. As she ate, Alex noticed the glow of her skin start to strengthen. The soft flickering became steadier, the colors richer. Tears filled her eyes, streaming down her cheeks. She whispered again, her voice hoarse and broken. "No one has ever helped me." Alex felt a lump in his throat. He had helped many humans in danger, but he had never seen this. A single act of kindness had reduced her to tears. He realized that, for her species, this kind of trust and care was extraordinary. "Don't worry," he said softly. "You're safe now. I'll help you." She nodded weakly, trying to sit up, but collapsed back onto the rubble. Alex quickly moved closer, keeping a careful distance so as not to scare her, and offered his hand. She hesitated, then took it. The strength in her grip was faint, but there was determination there. A spark of life fighting to survive. Over the next few hours, Alex helped her to a safer position inside the ruins, where they could shield themselves from the harsh wind. He gave her water and more food, and she drank slowly, savoring every drop. Between bites, she spoke in fragmented sentences, her words halting but understandable. "My colony destroyed. Raiders left me alone," she said, her voice trembling. Alex frowned. "Raiders? Are you saying your people were attacked?" She nodded faintly, her glowing skin flickering with sadness. "Yes, no one survived. Only me." He realized she had been through something unimaginable, surviving alone in a hostile environment with no one to trust. His heart went out to her. "You're not alone now," he said. "I'll help you get somewhere safe." The alien woman looked at him, her tears starting again, but this time there was a different emotion in her gaze. Relief, gratitude, and hope mingled together. Alex didn't need words to understand what she was feeling. The next challenge was the journey to a nearby human settlement. It was not far in distance, but the terrain was dangerous. Black rock jutted from the ground like sharp teeth, and deep fissures threatened to swallow anyone who stepped in the wrong place. Alex carefully helped her up, supporting her weight as they moved. Along the way, he noticed subtle details about her. Despite her weakened state, she had a quiet grace. Her movements, though slowed, were deliberate and precise. Her glowing patterns were like a language of emotion, changing in intensity as she felt fear, relief, or pain. Alex was fascinated by her resilience. Even in starvation, she carried herself with dignity. They moved slowly, resting whenever possible. Alex shared stories of human life, trying to ease her fear and make her feel safe. She listened, occasionally asking questions in her broken galactic common. "What? Humans eat?" she asked, curiosity in her eyes. Alex laughed softly. "We eat all kinds of things. But don't worry, you'll get used to it. For now, just focus on staying strong." As night fell, the temperature dropped sharply. The wind cut through their thin clothing. Alex found a sheltered area beneath a fallen structure and built a small fire using flammable scraps he had collected. He offered her a blanket from his pack. She wrapped herself in it, still trembling. Scared," she admitted quietly. "You have nothing to fear while I'm here," Alex said firmly. "We'll get through this together." Over the next few days, they navigated the treacherous landscape. They encountered unstable ground, occasional predators, and dangerous storms. Each time, Alex protected her, sometimes lifting her over obstacles, sometimes using his body to shield her from danger. The bond between them grew stronger, not through words but through shared struggle and trust. Slowly, she began to regain strength. Her glowing patterns became more vivid, and she started moving with more confidence. She shared fragments of her knowledge, how her colony had studied advanced energy sources, how her people communicated with subtle light patterns, and how they had survived for generations in harsh environments. Alex listened, impressed by her intelligence and resilience. One evening, after another long day of travel, they camped near a narrow canyon. The alien woman looked at the stars above, her glow soft and steady. She whispered, almost to herself, "I never dreamed of help." Alex sat beside her, watching her glow in the firelight. "Sometimes all it takes is one person to make a difference," he said. "Even in the darkest places, hope can survive." She turned her eyes to him, tears glistening. "You hope?" she said, voice breaking. "Yes," Alex said firmly, "and now so do you." As the night passed, Alex thought about what they had been through. He had saved her life, but she had also changed something inside him. Seeing her survive, seeing her trust a human, reminded him of why humanity's empathy and courage mattered in a galaxy often filled with violence and fear. By the end of the first part of their journey, Alex and the alien woman had formed a bond built on trust, courage, and compassion. They were still far from safety, but together, they had proven that even in the harshest conditions, humanity could shine as a light of hope for others. The story closed this part with Alex and the alien woman standing at the edge of a cliff, looking at the distant lights of the human settlement. She still had much to recover, and the journey ahead was uncertain, but the glimmer of hope in her eyes and the strength of human compassion promised that survival and trust were possible. The first rays of the pale sun crept over the horizon, painting the ash-streaked landscape with soft shades of orange and gray. Alex stirred awake, careful not to disturb the alien woman sleeping beside him. Her bioluminescent patterns pulsed faintly in the morning light, stronger than yesterday but still dimmed by fatigue. He watched her for a moment, impressed by her resilience. Despite weeks of starvation and the harsh conditions of the planet, she had survived, and now she was beginning to thrive. He gently shook her shoulder. "Time to move," he said softly. "The settlement isn't far from here, but we need to keep going." She blinked slowly, her eyes adjusting to the light. Ready," she whispered, her voice still weak but carrying a quiet determination. Alex nodded and helped her to her feet. Together, they began descending the rocky path toward the distant human outpost. The journey was harder than they expected. The terrain was jagged and uneven, with deep fissures that threatened to swallow the unwary. Alex led the way, carefully testing each step before helping her cross. Every time she stumbled, he was there, steadying her and encouraging her to keep going. Each step forward was a small victory, a testament to their shared determination. As they moved, she began to speak more, her words halting but growing in confidence. She told Alex about her life before the raid, about her family and her work in the research colony. She spoke of experiments with renewable energy, of studying the strange flora and fauna of her planet, and of dreams for the future that had been shattered in a single night of violence. Alex listened, fascinated by her intelligence and dedication. You survive alone? He asked at one point, incredulous. She nodded, tears forming in her eyes again. I must survive, and for them, for knowledge, for future. Her voice wavered, but her determination was clear. Alex admired her courage. Humans had faced countless dangers across the galaxy, but witnessing her survival, knowing how fragile yet strong she was, filled him with a deep respect for her. You're stronger than most humans I know, he said honestly. And I've seen humans fight through some terrible things. She managed a faint smile. Strong, because hope found me. For a moment, silence fell between them, broken only by the wind whistling through the rocky ridges. Alex realized that hope could exist even in the most hopeless places, even in someone so far from home, so far from anyone who cared. And it was humanity that had given her that hope. As midday approached, they encountered a new danger, a sudden storm of electrically charged dust. Sparks danced across the ground and the wind whipped violently, threatening to throw them off balance. Alex grabbed her hand and pulled her behind a rock outcropping, shielding her as the storm passed. She clung to him, fear evident in her eyes, but there was also trust. You, human, protect? She asked, voice trembling. Always, he replied firmly. I won't let anything happen to you. When the storm finally passed, they continued their journey, more cautious but determined. Along the way, they came across a group of scavengers, hostile beings who had been tracking humans for weeks. Alex immediately took a defensive stance, ready for combat. To his surprise, the alien woman moved beside him, activating a small energy-based tool that emitted a blinding light. The scavengers hesitated, giving Alex just enough time to maneuver. I can't defend myself, she said, her glowing patterns flaring brightly. Alex nodded, impressed. Even in her weakened state, she was resourceful and capable, a reminder that survival was not just about strength, but also intelligence and courage. After the encounter, they pressed on, arriving at the outskirts of the human settlement by evening. The lights of the outpost glimmered in the distance, a beacon of safety. The alien woman paused, overwhelmed by emotion. Her glow flickered and pulsed rapidly, tears streaming down her cheeks. They safe? She asked softly, her voice trembling. Yes, Alex said gently. You're almost there. You'll be protected now. Upon entering the settlement, she was met with cautious curiosity. The humans had heard rumors of a surviving Kailari in the area, but seeing her in person was something else entirely. She remained wary, her eyes scanning every face, every movement. Alex stayed close, offering reassurance through simple gestures and words. Over the next few days, she recovered slowly. Her glow became steadier, her movements more confident. She began interacting with the humans, teaching them about her culture, her knowledge of advanced technologies, and her understanding of the planet's unique resources. The humans listened with awe, realizing that her survival was not just an act of endurance, but also a gift of knowledge that could benefit them all. Alex watched her progress with pride. He had offered her a simple meal weeks ago, not knowing that it would lead to this, trust, recovery, and a bridge between species. He realized that humanity's greatest strength was not just its technology or military power, but its capacity for compassion, courage, and hope. One evening, as the sun set over the settlement, casting long shadows across the dusty ground, the alien woman approached Alex. Her glowing patterns were bright and steady, her eyes filled with gratitude. She reached out, touching his hand gently. You gave hope. Life saved me, she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. Alex shook his head, smiling. You survived because you're strong. I just helped you get a chance. She nodded, tears forming again, but this time they were tears of relief and joy. Human, good, brave, kind, she said softly. In the following weeks, the alien woman fully integrated into the settlement. She shared her knowledge of renewable energy sources, helped improve farming techniques using alien methods, and even assisted in designing new protective equipment for the humans. Her presence transformed the settlement, proving that cooperation between species could lead to remarkable results. Alex and she spent time together, often exploring the nearby terrain, testing new equipment, or simply talking about their experiences. A quiet bond had formed between them, built on mutual respect, trust, and the shared struggle of survival. It was a bond that transcended species, showing that empathy and courage could create connections even in the vast loneliness of space. The story's final scene captures a quiet evening. Alex and the alien woman stand atop a ridge looking at the stars above. The glow of distant planets and passing ships reflects in her eyes. She speaks softly, her words deliberate and meaningful. You gave life, trust, hope. Not many humans like you. Alex smiles, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. There are more like me. You just have to see it. Humanity can be cruel, yes, but we can also shine, especially when it matters most. She nods, her glowing patterns pulsing in rhythm with the stars above. I believe. Now, hope. Strong. Thanks. Human. Together they watch the night sky, a symbol of the endless possibilities of cooperation, trust, and empathy. Humanity had proven its strength not through war or conquest, but through simple acts of compassion. A meal shared, a hand offered, a life saved. These small acts had changed everything, bridging the gap between species and proving that humanity could inspire hope across the stars. As the wind rustled through the rocks, Alex realized something profound. In a galaxy filled with dangers, betrayals, and conflicts, it was the human heart, capable of empathy, courage, and selflessness, that could leave a lasting impact. He had saved her life, yes, but she had also reminded him of what made humans truly extraordinary. The alien woman looked at him once more, her eyes reflecting both the past hardships and the newfound hope. She whispered softly, almost as if to herself, life, trust, hope, humans, good. And in that quiet moment under the light of distant stars, Alex understood that their journey was not just about survival. It was about proving that humanity could shine even in the darkest corners of the universe. And sometimes all it took was a simple act, a shared meal, a gesture of kindness to change the course of a life and perhaps the future of many more.